Okay, we're working on generalizing as a skill. And it says a generalization is a broad statement or rule that applies to many examples. Now, clue words are clue words such as all, most, always, usually, or generally. So I'm going to put those down. We have, these are clue words, all, most, always, usually, generally, and another one that we've seen a couple times that isn't listed is often. Okay. What? What's going on? No, because I said we're doing it together up here. I said that twice. Those are the types of things that I want to try and keep off of the Zooms. And why I say it's really important to listen. So you can test generalizations with knowledge you already have to see if they make sense. Generally, a generalization, if it's going to be a valid generalization, what are we cutting that we need a scissors right now? This will be the warning for everyone. Next one will be going back to the computer to take a dojo point. Get focused on what we're working on here. Because now I have to start over teaching that point again. You can test generalizations with knowledge you already have to see if they make sense. Because if it's a valid generalization, it'll make sense. It'll be something that you know often happens. If it's a faulty generalization, then what you're going to realize is that that isn't something that often happens when we're in the real world. So we're going to read the following passage and then answer the questions below. I find it sometimes easy to look at the questions before we read so we know what we're looking for. Number 1 says, write a generalization from the passage. How did you know that this was a generalization? Write another generalization from the passage. How did you know that this was a generalization? So as we're reading, I want you to try to find 2 generalizations and then be able to explain how you know that they are a generalization. Here we go. Sun and moon were disagreeing again. It was always the same argument. Sun spent too much time in the sky, and moon didn't have enough time to herself. Sun told moon he stayed longer because that was what people and animals wanted. In fact, Sun was sure that they wished he would stay around longer. That was why every day Sun shone in the sky, even when it was time for moon to take over. Usually, Sun remained in the sky for an hour after his day was finished, creating all different kinds of beautiful colors. Moon wished Sun would just go away at the same time every day, but he never did. Sun seldom listened to Moon. Many times, Sun and Moon would be in the sky at the same time. Moon would try to outshine Sun, but it never worked. Sun was just too bright. It seemed Sun and Moon would never solve this problem. Okay, you're looking for 2 different generalizations. 2 different generalizations. Talk with a friend. See if you guys can come up with a couple.
And then you have another.
If often is one would never be one. There you go. That's thinking critically. We've discovered another word that can sometimes indicate a generalization. If often is one, then never is also probably a generalization. Okay. Give me one. Rajan. Okay, right here. Let's see if I can make this bigger. How big can I get it? It'll still stay on. There we go. Usually, sun remained in the sky after for an hour after his day was finished. I'm going to stop there because you can go on with it, but that's like the main point of it, right? Okay, how do you know that that is a generalization, Roger? Yeah, and in this story, we can assume that maybe Sun didn't do it every day, but he did it a lot, right? So it applies to many situations. How about another one, Gavin? Why is that a generalization? Yeah, so they're generalizing, saying there's no way they'll ever solve this problem. It applies almost every day they have this problem and they've never solved it. Kenzie, got another one?
Yeah. Some, but moon would try to sun, but it would never work.
Okay, I'll find what that is.
Like right above the last
I'm just gonna underline, it never worked. As far, I guess it's okay, because the moon probably does not outshine the sun. There may only be a brief moment in the day when the sun is just about to go down, when maybe the moon is the brightest thing in the sky above you, because the sun is bright on the horizon, right? And even then, the sun's probably still brighter. Ava. Does it mean they argued every single day? It was always the same argument. Yeah, they're insinuating that, but do we think it was probably every day?
No.
No, Porter, what are you working on right now? Your drawing, is that finding generalizations? You were warned, right? Disrespectful. Go take one. Maddie, how is that hair tie helping? Those are just the ones I caught. There's probably more. Are there any more in here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Hadley, what do you got? Okay, but he never did. Sun would just go away at the same time every day. This thing is like just riddled with it. The sun would just go away at the same time every day. Does the sun go away at the same time every day? No, not unless it's the equator. But even there, it probably changes. But he never did. That's also one. The sun seldom listened to moon. That's kind of one, I guess. That is why every day sun shone in the sky. Sometimes the sun doesn't shine. I mean, the sun lights up the earth a little bit, but don't do that anymore. That's gross. So this has a lot of them in there, and the real key is just looking for those things. Also with the generalization, understand that they apply most of the time, but not all the time. Yes, Braxton.
Just use the generalization.
How's that?
You said most of the time.
That's very true. All right, so now we're going to shift gears. I'm going to give you a worksheet on subject-verb agreement. We talked about this the other day. Knowing that a singular noun, we usually have to add S or ES to the verb. And on a plural verb and several pronouns, I being one, you don't. So like, I wouldn't say I runs to the store. I run to the store. And if it's a plural, like me and Billy runs to the store or run to the store. Yeah. And we're pretty good at just recognizing. Make sure you put your name, number, and date on this right away. We did one of these last week and we did pretty well on them. The directions say to read the passage. I'm going to put it up here so I can go over it on the via the document camera. So the directions say, read the passage, then read each question, circle the letter of the correct answer. So they've numbered the sentences here, the myth of the bear. Number one, the Native Americans tell this story to, and so on. You guys see that? And then you read, what change, if any, should be made in sentence one? So sentence one says, the Native Americans tells this story. You change tells to tell, change tells to are telling, change tells to are, or make no change. You guys understand how to do the worksheet? Okay, when you're done, make sure your name, number, and date is on it right now. And then you're done, you hand it in, okay? You guys need me to go over the rest of it?
No.
All right. Good luck.